enjoying the process. There's not much else to it, and the same goes for what has sparked this particular rant today, a Calvin and Hobbes comic strip by Bill Watterson. The comic depicts Calvin's dad hard at work in his home office within the midst of a snowfall. Calvin approaches and says something, motioning him to come out and to play. But in the next frame, it seemed that Calvin just goes and his father stays trying to continue his work. But every so often, Calvin's dad glances at the window, then back to his work, and with every turn, his face sharpens to disgruntlement, looking back at his paperwork in disappointment and guilt. He takes one final look at the window, looks back at his desk, sighs, then leaves his work. He joins Calvin in the snow. Honestly, the comic is such a heartwarming segment considering Calvin's troubled past with his parents, but nevertheless, it never fails to pull those emotional strings of mine, especially on the last segment and the last frame. I love not only Watterson's take on family and its importance of relationships, but also his philosophy to work and mental health. Without words, Watterson manages to capture the essence of human emotion and regret so well, and dwells into exemplifying this idea of the harsh cycles of reality inescapable to us. The strip ties a lot into self improvement. Those within the wisps of the world all share some characteristic to Calvin's dad, hung up, groggy, and chastened to work that life outside of it feels insignificant. Once enjoyable tasks feel like dreaded chores, chained to the ankles of our desires of completion. Perhaps an individual is fueled by the necessity of fulfillment and strive for the end goal, that they blind themselves to the present moment. I personally took it as a message to enjoy the process of life, to take breaks and live in the present, without the hindrances of the past and the future. Sometimes letting go progresses the bars to the goal rather than digging at it. There's more to life than a table and a pencil, a goal, or the future. Letting go places your worries elsewhere and lets the fun arrive when it should. At some point of return, one starts with fresh intent and a mind that has cleared of the dust of stress. Just have fun, slack back, relax, and enjoy how far you've come, because that is already an accomplishment in and of itself. As a writer, the portrayal of Calvin's dad resonates by the wholehearted driven perfectionist. Sometimes I'm so ingrained in the process of deep work and analysis that I forget what purpose I'm writing for. At that point, it's certainly not for myself. I ask if this is really a hobby anymore. Am I writing to escape and fulfill, or writing by a deadline? And sure, deadlines are great, staging the lines of responsibility vital in life, but a hobby treated this way, I'm not so sure. Writers need time to formulate themselves, and they cannot spend their whole time writing thoughts and ideas. We need our time off, and we need time for exploration, because that's the recharging of the brain, and that's the browsing of the web essentially before the compiling of files.